back.
Week 4.
For episode 4. It's not week 4. We uploaded it late, but it's been 2 weeks since we recorded.
We sure did. Week 5, episode 4 of Unemployed Tomorrow.
We took a holiday break.
With Chris and Blake, took a holiday break.
Yep.
For goodness sake. What are we talking about today, Blake?
Well, I kind of just want to start off by saying the Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings, are the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Woo! Yeah! All right. Hell yeah.
10-2, tied with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Fuck those Eagles.
But the tiebreaker, we are winning somehow. I don't know exactly all the tiebreaker rules, but
I don't get it.
But we are the number 1 seed. It's something about there's like 12 levels or something like that.
Okay.
Of
Does it have to do
of
with
tiebreakers that they do, like wins in your conference, wins in the other conferences, wins, points allowed, points scored. Like if it
that's what I would think it like points of total offense or something. Like
yeah,
that's what I would think it was.
But I think we are ahead of them at an earlier level than it went down to points. I think like that.
Okay.
There's I don't know all of them. I just know that that's kind of how they structure their seeding. In like playoff picture and stuff like that.
All right.
But after a defensive win against the Atlanta Falcons, as we said, the Vikings are 10-2, and it's great to be a Minnesota Viking fan.
Shut
I know,
shut
but
up.
I'm happy for until our inevitable bomb happens.
Our inevitable demise.
Yeah.
When's it coming? I wanted to talk about, as far as the Vikings go, our quarterback situation, because I, for one, I like what Case is doing right now, but I don't think he can keep it up. I think he's got the hot hand right now.
No, he's doing awesome, and I appreciate it, but there's a reason that he's been passed around and that we got him for $2 million on a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
Where someone who's even worse than him, like Glennon, got $16 million.
Yeah.
To go sit on the bench.
Well, I mean, it's good news for him that he's playing as well as he is, because he's going to get a big contract next year, whether it's from us or from someone else.
I've heard rumors that it would be possible that the Redskins would want him.
Oh, really?
Because they don't want to franchise tag Kirk Cousins for another $36 million.
Right. Yeah.
For 1 year.
No, that's a good point. I feel like it'd be a good fit for him, but I don't like. He's doing great for us this year, which is awesome. But I want our franchise quarterback. I want.
You want Teddy back?
I want Teddy back.
I'm like, when Teddy came off injured reserve or the PUP list or whatever, I was super excited. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Teddy's coming back. He's gonna play in the Super Bowl in his home state, or not his home state, but his home team state, whatever the team he's playing for. He's gonna come back after tearing his knee apart.
Oh God!
He's gonna come back and just kill it in the playoffs and hopefully bring a Super Bowl to Minnesota.
Well, we'll see.
But I mean, as long as Keenum's doing, excuse me, whatever Zimmer is doing, it's working.
Yeah. Because
he keeps, even though he's saying it's week to week and he's backing Keenum kind of, it's working. That Bridgewater's looming there. And just waiting to come off the bench as soon as he drops.
Definitely giving Keenum kind of like a kick in the ass.
Yeah, it's selling his game. Because, I mean, he was on the Rams last year and did pretty shitty, but they had a terrible coach with Jeff Fisher.
And not a great team.
And their team, I mean, they definitely, excuse me, God, I keep burping and coughing. And
you're gross is the bottom
line. But they added a lot of talent with Cooper Kupp, the rookie.
Yep.
And Todd Gurley got a kick in the ass and started playing really fucking well this year.
Yep.
And then they picked up Sammy Watkins and
that is an overhauled team, and they're I was surprised we beat them, because they're definitely a good team this year as well. I was
at that game too.
I know.
That was a fun game to go to.
I know you were. You fucking ass. No, but I think the thing about the Minnesota Vikings is that we're legitimately a deep stacked
We have a
team.
Super Bowl type defense.
Well, not even just that, but just people, there's a team that doesn't just surround one player. You know, like the Packers lost Aaron Rodgers and they fell apart because that team is nothing without them.
Hundley's doing better, but they're fucking garbage.
Yeah, he's still, like, he is not gonna hold that team together. Like,
and Deshaun Watson down in Houston.
Yep.
As soon as he got hurt, Tom Savage came back off the bench and then has been terrible. Broncos without Peyton Manning. Well, they Broncos kind of fucked everything up.
Yeah, there's a lot of different. There's a lot going on there.
But their quarterback situation is terrible.
Everyone's having like a shitty quarterback situation, except for obviously New England and Carolina, kind of. But I don't know.
No, Cam's doing a lot better this year. He was off to a slow start because they tried to make him more of a pocket passer.
No, I know.
But then they gave him the opportunity to be like, okay, no.
Go be Cam Newton.
Yeah, go be Cam Newton.
No, I know.
Drew Brees is doing...
Okay,
he's doing good, but it's all about the run game down in New Orleans.
No, I know, but like still, Drew Brees is capable of, he's Drew Brees. He's not ever going to be a bad quarterback.
Matt Stafford's been pretty decent.
I think he's been spotty.
He's been spotty, but he's always been spotty because he doesn't have Calvin Johnson to throw to ever since he left.
That's true. But anyway, the point I was trying to make is that, like, regardless of what quarterback the Vikings use, like, it's going to be a good team.
We're a balanced team.
Exactly. Like,
we have a good run game. We lost Dalvin Cook. Like, I feel like that's the thing that separates us from last year, too, is last year everyone got hurt, and we had good depth, but it wasn't, like, enough. Mm-hmm. Whereas Dalvin Cook goes down. We've got Latavius Murray to take over, and Jerick McKinnon, who isn't my favorite, but he's a good scat back.
He's honestly, I like him. I like him a lot. He's very versatile.
He is, but at the same time, he tries to be Darren Sproles, I feel like, or tries to be like Le'Veon Bell. Bounces too much.
He's not a big guy.
I know he's not.
He can't run over people like Murray or Peterson.
I don't expect him to, but at the same time, he doesn't just pick a hole and go. Whereas Latavius Murray, even though yes, he's a bigger guy, he'll split a small hole. Like Dalvin Cook was holding the rushing yards for our team
until like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I know.
And he only played for like
3 games.
Yeah, like so it's ridiculous.
That dude is crazy. I'm looking forward to getting him back like
next year. I'm hoping that after the knee injury, he's still good.
He's gonna be the same. I know.
I mean,
God,
the fact that we've had Peterson have knee injuries and come back and been better. I feel like our trading staff is good enough to bring him back and rehabilitate him.
Absolutely.
I mean, a guy's body obviously is only as good as it's good.
Yeah.
Is gonna get, but I feel like with our training staff, they've had experience with knee problems.
Definitely. And now with fucking Bradford too.
Yeah, Bradford's gone.
I know he's gone.
I know.
Literally, he's just a trading piece for us right now.
He's not even worth trading. No one's gonna pick him up. He's going to get released after this year, and he's probably going to not end up on a team.
I know that. It doesn't matter. He's a good quarterback. It's really unfortunate that he got, fucking destroyed because, he's proved that can be a good quarterback. I'm not going to say...
He's a good quarterback when he has all of the time in the world.
He's not a legendary caliber quarterback. He's got his problems. It's whatever. That's not what I'm talking about.
He has no pocket presence.
Shut up. I'm not talking... That's not my point.
I'm criticizing Bradford.
My point is...
I didn't like him when we picked him up. Anyway, go ahead.
I feel like Teddy Bridgewater is somebody that, number 1, we can keep around. Number 2 is good enough to be our franchise quarterback. And number 3... it fits well with this team because everyone likes him.
Yeah, that is true. But the last year when he got his knee injury was the year he was supposed to prove it that he was that. So I feel like he's almost starting from square one again. And I'm curious of whether the Vikings are even going to pick him up for another year. Because they didn't.
We're going to lose Keenum and Bradford. Who do we have?
I don't know. We might try and take someone in the draft, or we might try and trade for someone.
No,
I think it would be, obviously it's smart if we can sign probably both of them for a 1-year deal at least to get another evaluation before we move forward. But
I feel like Keenum is now worth more money than we're willing to pay him.
I also feel that for Murray, which I'm sad about too.
Because
anyway, go ahead.
Both of those, yeah. Well, because he has now proven that he is a playoff caliber quarterback.
I think
he is. He's made the playoffs. It's
not guaranteed yet. There's still 4 weeks.
I know there's still 4 weeks, but I'm just saying, man,
And
like it's.
I hate to say it, but Rodgers is coming back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, we can still beat the Packers. You know, we can still beat the Packers.
I know we can, but the NFC.
Plus, who knows?
The
if
NFC would look a lot different if Aaron Rodgers didn't break his collarbone.
Yeah, but who knows if he's even gonna look the same?
That's what I'm curious about, because everyone's like, oh, he can throw 50 yards,
Plus,
he's back, but he's not dodging people, getting hit.
Yeah. Plus, Mike McCarthy is an idiot, and
He is terrible. He's a terrible play caller.
He's gonna put him back before he's ready. Call a terrible play. He's gonna get hit again, and then like who knows? You know.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
I don't disagree with you.
It's really unfortunate what happened to him, and I even as much as I hate Green Bay, you know, you hate to lose somebody as talented as that, because it's just good for the game of football to, you know, have them around and like to see them do what they do. That being like, it just, I don't want to see unnecessary injuries occur because like, you know, teams get greedy or whatever.
Right. Like, I wouldn't wish anyone to get hurt, but when they get hurt, I'm not upset because it just looks better. I mean, the fact, and I kind of base it off what happened to us last year, because we lost every offensive lineman, we lost Bridgewater, we lost our coach, like, for a little bit. Like, injuries happen, so if teams are going to complain about injuries, it's like I have no sympathy, because we had about 20 people.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like,
we signed Jake Long for a game and then got hurt again.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, dude. I'm not like. Don't get me wrong. I know injuries are part of football. Like, it's just gonna happen. Like, it sucks when it happens to anybody. I'm just saying that when it happens to a player as good as Aaron Rodgers, it kind of sucks even more.
It takes it. It's kind of like Ezekiel Elliott being suspended. Like, it just takes away from games.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't mind seeing, like, there's certain teams, like, I don't wish Brady would get hurt, but I wish he would just stop playing. Like, if did you see speaking of the Patriots, did you see Gronk take that dirty hit against?
I didn't see that. No.
He was real frustrated with the game because he was being held like the entire game.
Sure.
And the other team, who did they play? I don't even remember who they played. Anyway, the defender intercepted the ball, was like laying on the ground, and straight up Gronk just came up behind him. He's already down, plays over, and just like pile drives both of his arms like into the back of his head.
Oh wow!
And like gave him a concussion.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Fuck,
and didn't get ejected. Got penalized, but like didn't get ejected or anything. So I'm guessing they're going to do like a 2-game suspension, and then it'll be like Crabtree and Jalen Ramsey, and it'll go down to 1 game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Patriots are. I mean,
they're not going to be hurting without Gronk.
No, they're the Patriots.
They don't have Bennett though. Which Bennett, whatever, but
yeah, whatever.
He's a bum.
He's overrated.
He's a bum.
Fucking. I feel like the Patriots' time or their end is kind of coming. You know, because I mean, Tom Brady can only play for so many more years. You know, before he's like Brett Favre'ing it from one team to another. You know.
Well, who knows? He might retire as a Patriot.
Yeah, he might. He very well might.
I mean, he's kind of the guy where he's like, I'm just going to kind of go with it. He takes less money because he wants, like, other talent around him, where someone like Kirk Cousins wants all of the money for himself and then doesn't have anyone to throw to.
No, I know.
Which is fine. Like, get your money, obviously. Like,
get your money.
As a quarterback, you're kind of, I mean, we
get
see
your
it with
money.
Aaron Rodgers. If you don't have that person, then your team falls apart.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens to every team, and even if you're a well-balanced team, sometimes without having that franchise quarterback, you're just not going to be like the Jaguars. The Jaguars are actually really good, but Blake Bortles can't throw the football.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my thing is with Tom Brady, like he may very well retire as a Patriot, but I'm saying like how many more years does he have in him? You know, like how
he
old
thinks
is
he can play till he's 45.
Really?
He's 40.
Genuinely?
Yeah, he genuinely thinks because he eats avocado ice cream.
Alright, well, fuck that guy.
Like he thinks he's like and I honestly don't think that it's out of the question.
I don't look. I mean, it's definitely doable for him to like play until he's 45. Like how effective he's going to be is another question because like
he doesn't move around much.
Well,
anyway.
not only that, like not only do you have an aging quarterback, but like how long are you going to keep some of the guys around you? Like Martellus Bennett left. fucking like who knows who's gonna get hurt next, and like
Blunt left.
yeah, Blunt left. Fucking, I mean, it's
Well, now they don't have their backup plan in Garoppolo.
right,
Either.
and they've just been playing. They've been too elite for too long for something not to happen.
But Belichick is a great coach, so
He's a Hall of Fame coach, absolutely.
but it's hard to say is Belichick is good without Brady or is Brady good without Belichick. I think that's one of the questions that are kind of getting passed around.
I feel like Brady's
Because
good either way.
Yeah, but he also has like such a no nonsense coach and such a focused, smart guy telling him kind of how to who's trained him. So now he's at a point now where he can kind of run his offense, kind of how Brett Favre did.
For sure. I mean, for sure.
And Peyton Manning.
I'm talking
they're the offensive
I'm
coordinator.
talking right now. I think they could go their separate ways, and both of them would still be as great.
Yeah, but if he doesn't have, if Belichick got someone like Blake Bortles who can't throw the football, I don't think that they would be able to perform as well, because Tom Brady also makes magic happen.
Sure does.
Where it's like, how the hell did he just make that pass into that tight of coverage while he's getting his face mask pulled or some shit like that? like, it just seems like he has this unspoken, uncategorized talent where it's just of like luck.
Some people just like bleed talent.
He's just naturally too athletic.
It's just some people just are born with it, and like he's one of those people that was just born to be a quarterback, you know.
Yeah.
And like unfortunately, like the Vikings don't have that, but we do have people in other positions who I feel like were born to play those positions.
Yeah. Thielen, one of them.
Thielen is fucking
he
unreal this year.
He has worked his way.
Oh my goodness, that guy.
Minnesota homegrown boy, and from Detroit Lakes, went to school in Mankato, and then made it onto the practice squad. From the practice squad, made it onto the main roster, and from the main roster, made it to the number one receiver, to making it. He didn't have a great game on Sunday.
Well,
yesterday,
nobody really did.
Yeah,
defense did, but offensively, nobody had.
I think he dropped.
Game.
I think he dropped, but he was the second or third receiver in receiving yards.
Yep.
Like, just that triumph and build and the grind that he went through to make it up to where he is now is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's the. Is that what you just said? He's the third receiver.
He was second or third before Sunday, and then probably after Sunday lost a spot. I'm guessing because he only had like a couple catches.
Where's Julio Jones on that list? Because he only had 26 yards.
I think he was number one.
Well, maybe not then.
Yeah, but he had a good jump on Thielen. I mean, we could look it up. We have our phones.
We do.
And the internet.
I'll do that. Keep talking.
Okay. Well, since we were kind of talking about like retirement and quarterbacks and stuff like that, I mean, obviously you probably heard about Eli Manning.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What was your reaction to it?
I don't really care.
No.
I mean, it sucks. It is what it is.
Did you see his interview? Like when they first announced it?
No.
He seemed like he was on the verge of tears.
Really?
But it's I understand like they're 2-12 or whatever, and they're having a terrible season.
Really bad.
And it's not on him. Like it's the team is just not doing well. Their coach, Ben McAdoo, got fired today.
Today?
Yeah, because they lost yesterday. So he's fired, and he botched that entire situation. Like the fact that they announced it like it was just part of like, oh yeah, we're scrimmaging today. We're gonna spend a little extra time getting our linemen ready for the battle. Oh yeah, and Geno Smith is gonna start over Eli Manning today. Ooh. Like it wasn't like when Romo got benched. Yeah. Like they gave him like a stage.
Right.
And like announced it and made it like its own thing. Whereas the Giants were like was usually a very classy, like a classy organization. Yeah. They just kind of were just like, we're gonna bench him.
Dude, that's.
And it's he hasn't been playing very well. They don't have any receivers.
Still a Manning, goddammit.
Well, not only that, but the dude beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He did. Like, yes, it's a team game, but he beat the Patriots.
You're absolutely
and
right.
he got them 2 Super Bowls, which is 2 more than they would ever have if they didn't have Eli.
That's true.
And they just, the disrespect for the player, it blows my mind.
That's kind of unacceptable. Like, when you have, like you said, a player who's won you Super Bowls, like, you don't just straight up.
You don't, like, it's not like the long snapper got hurt.
Yeah, I'm not.
We got a new long snapper today.
Like, I'm not saying, like, you have to completely just, keep him in no matter what. Right. But, like, like you said with Tony Romo, like, that shit happened. Like, nobody's impervious to losing their spot.
And they're replacing him with Geno Smith.
All right, but you have to at least give them the respect that's due and let them either make the announcement on their own or, let them make the decision or whatever.
I mean, he was on a 211 game streak, and they gave him like, oh, we can start you and then take you out halfway through the game, and he's like, no, just give Geno his time.
Yeah.
Like, he was classy about it. Like, I'm not gonna. I don't want to keep the streak going just to keep the streak going. Like, I want to play. I want to be the quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
And they had said that they want to get evaluations of the other guys because it's a lost season.
Sure.
But it was just the way it happened and the fact that it's not even like they played the rookie. I can't remember what his something Webb, not Joe Webb.
Joe Webb.
something else Webb or something like that, and he did terrible. So they benched him and put Geno Smith back in or something like that. But everyone knows Geno Smith is garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't understand why you would start him over Eli Manning anyway.
Right, like it's a lost season. Let him play out his season and then release him or retire. Like let him retire.
Yeah, let him fucking finish the season, man.
They'll probably put him in for the last game as a cash grab. Like, this is Eli Manning's last game as a Giant coming.
Yeah. That's I was listening to someone. It's like a Vikings post game show or something, and they were saying that Case Keenum could end up on the Giants.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah. It wouldn't be. I honestly like. It's a good thing for Case that he's doing so well this season because he'll probably get a good spot somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be a Viking next year as much as he's doing well.
I don't think so. Well, I mean...
I would like to see him as a Viking because I think he's an adequate backup.
Through all of this, like, I have not heard what his opinion on the matter is. Like, number one, like, I don't know why he'd say anyway because he's focused on this team right now, this team this season. So, of course, he's just going to be like, no, this is my team and this is what I'm focused on. And we're going week to week. I'm only focused on the next week, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I would be interested to hear what he has to say after the season when,
I think he's going to be a little pissed off because Zimmer won't back him. It's like, well, because Zimmer's taking the quarterback situation week to week.
Right.
So it's I think the only way we sign him next year to, like, be the starter is if he wins the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, yes, that, but...
But then you're going to have another Joe Flacco situation.
We also don't know how his and Zimmer's conversations go. Maybe they know something that we don't. Maybe they're just like, you know what, maybe Zimmer's like, you know what, I believe in you. Like, you're proving yourself right now, and I want you to be the quarterback next year. Like, who knows?
Yeah. I think it's partly because I listen to so many, like, other NFL podcasts and read so much NFL media and stuff that it's like they're starting to skew my opinion because they kind of say the same thing where it's like it seems almost disrespectful in a way that they won't just be like, but also at the same time if you're like, we're going to make Case Keenum our starter and then he turns into old Case Keenum.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, I think it's just working the way Zimmer's handling it, and I'm happy with it. Obviously,
I think it's fine. Like, I mean, it is what it is, and like you gotta say what you have to say to get through to the next week without ruffling any feathers. And like the way they're doing it right now, it's working. So like,
I agree.
I think it's fine.
You got the leader?
I do. So Antonio Brown is number 1.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Antonio.
With 1195. Julio, who's this? Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is number 2 with 1084. Julio Jones is 1063 and Thielen's 1056.
So number 4. So yeah, he did drop. I forgot Antonio Brown. Yeah. And DeAndre Hopkins, I think, had a big game this last week.
Yeah, I mean the next 2 up are only,
they're pretty far away.
Yards. No, they're not.
Keenan Allen.
Oh, the next one's
Tyreek
down.
Hill.
No, I'm talking about these
Oh
ones.
yeah, these
So,
are all
like,
pretty close.
Yeah, I'm saying Thielen needs like 9 yards, 8 yards to catch Julio Jones.
Yeah, that group of the top 4 there is all in the
They're
low
really,
thousands,
really
close.
close.
Within like what?
Antonio Brown is the only one with
It's like
100 more yards.
It's like a 50-yard spread between 2 and 4.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
No. Yeah, and Antonio Brown has 100.
Yeah, Antonio Brown's a fucking animal though.
139 more yards. Well, that's still only one game's worth. Like if he all of a sudden
Which I think isn't Antonio not playing tonight? I think he got hurt, which that sucks for my fantasy, but
it's good for Adam Thielen. So I mean, yeah. So anyway, the point is that the Vikings are a playoff caliber team, even without an all-star quarterback.
Yeah, because we have a very balanced all-star defense and
we sure do.
a pretty balanced with a lot of playmakers on offense. So
yeah, and like honestly, with our defense being as stacked as it is, I mean there are a couple holes. I'm not gonna lie.
Where?
Like
I guess corner.
Yeah, I don't like Trey Waynes.
I do.
I mean, okay, I'm not.
He's really strong.
I'm not gonna say I don't like him. I'm gonna say he's not developed yet.
No, he's not. He
makes a lot of rookie mistakes.
He's
still.
not Xavier Rhodes good yet.
No, but I will say Xavier Rhodes was the exact same way like 5 years ago.
Yeah, he used to just choke people in the line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing,
like straight up grab them by the neck and go, It's fucking old school. Madden 09.
Shit. No, I mean, when I say rookie mistakes, I mean things like,
He's just making young man mistakes.
Yeah, I mean things like not turning and looking for the ball. And
he gets a little too handsy.
Exactly, like he was all over fucking, who was the other guy?
Sanu?
Yeah, Sanu. He was all fucking over him, and like he's so lucky he didn't get called a couple times because he was like grabbing jersey and fucking like I don't know.
Mackenzie Alexander's kind of the same way.
He's kind of the same way, but they're both like young still.
But the reason I like Trey Waynes though is because sometimes he makes dumb mistakes, but he's fast as fuck, and
right. I'm not gonna say.
And he's super athletic, so he can make up for it.
He has great potential for sure.
Yeah.
And like he could be the next Xavier Rhodes on our team.
Road's closed.
The road's closed, bitch. Yeah, but he's not there yet. And like it scares me whenever like Rhodes starts limping and shit because that's
I know it's like oh fuck
shit because that's like good quarterback's opportunity to start picking us apart because that was our problem in the past. That's why we always lost to the Packers and like
we used to just be like stacked on run defense.
Yeah, the gunslingers of the league had a fucking heyday with us because like our corner sucked ass.
But then Zimmer is like the cornerback guru.
Yeah. And now we have Xavier Rhodes as one of the top corners in the league.
I think, I don't remember what we are, but I think overall defense we're in the top 5.
Yeah.
I think in the top 3 even.
Should I look that up too?
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure on, third down percentage we're number 1. I know that because we only allow like 20% completion or whatever on third down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was an interesting stat line from Sunday's game against the Falcons because the Falcons were number 1 in third down.
And they converted what, like 2 out of 10?
No, 1 of 10.
1 of 10?
That's insane
because
we're the best on third.
Dude, that's insane. Like,
but I think points allowed were 3, yards allowed were like 3, I think as well.
Defense.
Top defense.
We're number 2.
We're number 2. Top defense in yardage allowed per game at 289, and the only person better than us is the Jaguars with 282. So that's, fuck. That's crazy.
Pittsburgh's right below us, so they're like 0.3 yards underneath us.
That's still, can you, the fact that we're in the top 3 with the Saxonville Jaguars and Pittsburgh Steelers. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers are usually always a good defense.
They're always a good team, period.
And they have T.J. Watt, who has been kind of destroying it whenever I see him in highlights.
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like, I don't follow the Steelers that much, so I don't know. But
The Schittsburg Peelers.
Sorry. We're just coming up with names now.
Yeah. The Miami Dolphins.
The Green Bay Fudge Packers.
Wow. You went there.
I did. My dad used to say that. So.
All right, well. We
The
know
Seattle Seahawks.
We know what kind of person your dad is.
The Los Angeles Charger Vibrator.
The fuck?
It's porn names.
Why?
We're making porn parodies of the teams.
Why?
The Chicago Gay Bears.
Can you not? Oh my god. Stop.
I got more. I can.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't. I don't have more.
The Carolina Panthers. Pants hurt. I don't know, man.
The Tennessee Titan Titans. Tennessee Titans.
All right. That's enough.
I think there's got to be another one. No, I can't think of one for Kansas City.
The Kansas City Queefs.
Oh, okay, should we stop? Do you want to talk about Star Wars?
I sure as fuck do. Alright.
Throw things.
Star Wars Episode 8.
Did you forget which one we were on?
I did.
The Last Jedi.
The Last Journey comes out December 14th.
Blow
December 15th, I think, officially, but like the 14th.
Churrat Baka.
I hate you.
That's fun.
So much.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Sorry, what? December what?
15th officially.
That was 14th.
No, 14th is, I feel like it's 14th because the day,
okay.
the midnight
like the Thursday
release bullshit thing, yeah.
Go ahead.
I could be wrong, but I think that's my theory anyway. I, for one, am hella excited about everything Star Wars.
I'm mildly excited
Okay, why are you only mildly excited?
because I do love the Star Wars franchise and I love all those movies. Are you playing a didgeridoo?
Fucking. But yeah.
Anyway,
yes.
I'm mildly excited because I do love the movies, but I'm probably not even going to see it until the new year. Just because I hate going to movies when there's a bunch of people there.
Well,
because I don't like people laughing at parts that aren't that funny and cheering at parts that aren't that needed to be cheered at.
You know what? It's part of the experience.
I know, but it drives me fucking nuts.
No, you're coming with me now.
When someone,
I'm making sure of it.
When Han Solo appears on the screen in episode 7, I'm like, oh my god!
We're gonna be
like, you know, he's in the movie.
We're gonna be at that. We're gonna be at that theater at 6 p.m. on the 14th.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will.
You'll show up at 5:59 because you're always late.
No, I'm saying 6 p.m. because that's still like 4 hours before the movie starts. So
you're like, we'll be there at 6, and then 11:59 pops
late.
up, and you're like, okay, I'm just leaving my house.
That's the old Chris Blake.
No, it's not.
I've been training, honing my Jedi powers
to wake up on time.
Exactly. I made it to the dentist on time today.
Oh shit! I haven't been to the dentist like 2 years. It's gross.
It looks like it.
Fuck you. My teeth aren't that bad. Fucking asshole.
I'm kidding. Yeah, anyway, there's going to be a lot of new additions, and I've been watching behind the scenes thingamabobbers about all the Jedi training that Rey and Finn and
I heard something on it like Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
Ridley or Radley?
Ridley.
Ridley doesn't want to be Rey anymore.
No, after the 9th movie, supposedly she's done.
She's done?
But, I mean, that's the end of the trilogy anyway, so, I mean...
Are they doing another trilogy, though? Didn't they already announce that they're going to do another one?
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to involve any of these characters. Well, maybe. I suppose it could involve Finn and Poe if they're down to do it, but...
Fuck. Cash that check.
Yes, dude, seriously. If I was making Star Wars money, I would never
Make that
want to
Disney
stop.
money.
Holy shit, dude. They got a deep, deep, deep pockets. But the only thing I'm not super excited for is the fucking Porgs.
Why?
Because they're just going to be the new Ewoks.
But everyone loved the Ewoks.
Not everyone loved the Ewoks. Like,
Yeah, they did.
yeah, they did. But I just feel like
it's not going to be like a pivotal part of the movie.
I know.
It's just going to be the cute factor for the children and to sell toys.
I feel like they're going to be annoying, though.
Why?
I don't know, because they go like, Brah!
They had one scene. They had one little part when Chewbacca. Like, who cares? Like, probably gonna be. You probably love them. Everyone was skeptical about BB-8.
I wasn't skeptical about BB-8.
Well, why are you skeptical about the goddamn Porgs?
Because they're gonna be annoying.
Did you watch the?
Sure did.
You liked. Stop! Sure did before I even finished. You liked the prequels.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sure when you were younger, you liked Jar Jar Binks.
No.
Even when you were little, when the fucking movies came out.
I mean,
we were
okay,
like 10 years
when
old
I was
they came
little,
out.
it was fine, but he still wasn't my favorite character.
Right, it's not meant to be your favorite character, but it's just like something for like funny for
comic relief
children to enjoy the movies. It's not just for the
children.
It's not just for the cynical adults who are like, I hate everything that's not
the
originals.
Trilogy.
Like
the original trilogy was the best.
Why do you sound like a smoker who's like a 60-year-old woman?
You're just like your father.
Chocolate. I remember eating chocolate.
When they invented chocolate. I always hated it.
Anyway.
I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm just getting to that age, you know, where I'm just like,
yeah, you're crossing over to the dark side of cynicism.
To the dark side of I don't know, man. Like, I just want it to continue the serious part of the story, which I feel like
I'm sure it will. I mean, there's a lot of comic relief in the other one.
Obviously, they're gonna do that, and I made a big stink. Well, not a stink.
If you don't put comic relief, it turns into Batman v Superman.
I defended.
I cut you off too much. Go ahead. I'll just let you talk.
I did defend all the comic relief in episode 7. The Force Awakens, because like, I mean, I get it, you have to have that in there so that it'll appeal to a wider audience, but like, I don't know, I just feel like with things as established as Marvel movies and Star Wars movies, and
there's so much comic relief in Marvel movies.
Too much. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're saying it's too much. Okay.
Too much. I told you that before. Like, that's just how I feel.
Yeah,
I agree. This is the way I feel.
I agree, but at the same time, as you said, it's to make it more family friendly because it is Disney.
To make it.
It's for. I don't know. Just fuck off. I said it weird. It's because it's Disney, and it has to be family friendly because it's Disney, and it's Star Wars, so they want to sell toys, so they need to. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, when I lived in LA last year.
Smug fuck. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I didn't like it, so I don't have anything to be smug about.
Tell us about LA, bro.
Yeah, dog. When we went to
fucking that, bro.
No, fuck that.
Sad.
I don't get that, cause nobody has studied the long-term effects of
popcorn lung.
Yeah, of vaping. So like that shit could give you like super cancer. We don't know.
Super cancer.
But
the new form of cancer. It's super cancer. Played by Rob Schneider.
I did enjoy seeing all of the Star Wars memorabilia at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Like I was in it. I was like, holy shit, they're selling lightsabers and t-shirts and plushies and fucking remote controlled Death Stars that shoot actual lasers and fucking sticks of butter shaped like the Millennium Falcon.
That's what I felt about.
I was in it, man.
About the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Oh, dude.
That was so much fun.
Shit was awesome.
Did you go to the one in Florida or the one in
California?
You went because you were in California.
Yeah.
The one in Florida has the Diagon Alley.
I know. They kind of do in California.
Mm.
Have Diagon Alley. They have like shops and stuff everywhere, and it's just this big long road leading up to the castle, which is a big ride.
Yeah, but that's fuck. There's a different part because it's the same thing at in Florida where they have the Hogwarts castle and there's like shops and all that shit.
Right.
But then at the one in Florida, you can take the train across, or you can just go across. There's two parks that it's at. It's at Islands of Adventure and then Universal Studios.
Okay.
And Islands of Adventure has like the first one that was there. That's the same one that they have in California.
Sure.
Where like you're on the broom ride.
Yeah.
Same thing. And then they added on the Universal side the Diagon Alley, which you can either go across to the other park and go into that park, or there's a train that goes back on the Hogwarts Express that you can take. Costs extra. I did it because I'm a fucking Harry Potter nerd.
Hey.
But that's even like a ride itself. Oh, nice. I didn't even notice you were wearing a Slytherin shirt.
Hell yeah, dude. For life.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
You would.
Yeah. Anyway, you take the train across, and they even make that like
we're
a ride.
like the two least liked houses. Everyone wants to be like a Gryffindor or a Ravenclaw, and I'm a Slytherin. You're a Hufflepuff.
I think Hufflepuff is the most hated.
Not anymore, because like, dude, the Fantastic Beasts guy
I haven't
is
seen
Hufflepuff.
it yet, which I'm sad about.
It's really good. I liked it a lot.
Anyway, the train ride is a ride because you go in, you sit down, like the door closes, and then like on the window you can see like people flying on like shit, and they have like a Dementor come up, and it gets like dark, and then on the train side, it's like you're in like your own little cart or whatever, or your own little room, and then you see like shadows of people walking by, and it's kind of cool. And then you go across, and you're on the other side of the park, and I didn't even like. I was like, oh, where's the park?
Right.
Because you could go in, and it's kind of like there and whatever, but then all of a sudden I saw like an area because we had a bathroom, and I was like, oh, the bathroom's probably back here. Because it's really weird looking, and then you go around the corner, and then it has like the bricks.
Oh, sure.
Like it doesn't actually have a movement, but it has the sound, and then it like has like a
thing
like a doorway that looks like the bricks are being like pulled away.
Right.
And then you go and you look and you see Gringotts Bank, and the dragon is like draped over it. And you're like, oh shit! And like they make it look like it's all like kind of topsy turvy, like looking kind of sideways, how it does in the movie.
That's great.
And then you go through Gringotts Bank, kind of the same way you go through the castle, and they have like the goblins, and they're like all animatronic, but they look real as fuck, and they're all looking at you. And then,
dude, that's cool as shit.
As you're going to the ride, you take like an elevator down. And it doesn't move or anything. It's like this big, it's like another part of the ride, and it makes it look like it's bouncing. My mom was freaking out because she's like, are we going down? And it's like, no, you're not. It's just bouncing. Like it's the sides of the wall.
You're fine.
Yeah,
that's cool.
and then you go, and then you get on the thing, and then it's the same thing where it's like the 4D kind of roller coaster, but you're on like those carts when you go through the bank and the vaults and stuff like that. And Voldemort's there with Bellatrix Lestrange. And you just kind of go through and whatever. It's like another ride, and it's fun. And that's it.
That seems. See, I want to go to that one because like they did.
That one's so fucking awesome.
I mean, it was still cool. Like the one in California is still amazing, but it's just that first part.
Yeah.
So it's like Diagon Alley, and there's like a bunch of shops you can go in and obviously buy stuff, and they have like the candy shop and the joke shop. And
did you get a wand?
No, that was really expensive.
Yeah, I bought one.
Did you?
I bought Snape's.
I wanted to do the whole like experience and with all.
I didn't get the stupid one that's like.
Oh, you could do like the
interactive one.
No, I wouldn't do that either. But like, I did want to go just to have the.
Just to do it.
I wanted the wand to choose me. But like there are a bunch of like 5-year-olds in line, so I was
it's way too long of a line for just like you to go like this and then some of those.
No, I mean like in Cali, I don't know if did they have Ollivanders like the wand shop in
Florida? And then they have like a show and stuff too.
Okay, so like for this one, like you stood in a line and then there's a whole like experience with somebody playing Ollivander and then like picking out your wand for you. You know.
Interesting.
And then
they probably have that now, but I didn't when I went the first time.
Yeah.
I don't think they had that.
And then you pay like $100 to buy the wand or whatever. But like, so I mean, there's just a bunch of like 5-year-olds standing in line waiting to get their wands, and then
you're like, I want my wand.
I want my wand. I know, like it's just fucking and like just to establish to you folks at home, I'm 6'8". So, like, it would have been extra creepy.
Standing there, they're all at your crotch.
Yeah, dude. Like, no. But also, what I liked about Universal in California was they had, like, each section of the park was, like, themed after a different.
Yeah, that's how it is in Florida too.
Okay, what do they have in
Kinda.
Florida?
Well, they have like the Simpsons area.
Yeah, they had that.
And then they have like the Men in Black little area.
No, we didn't have Men in Black.
It's kind of a old ride. It's kind of almost like, remember at Camp Snoopy?
Yeah.
Like the Ghost Blasters ride?
Yeah.
It's just like that, except with aliens. And then they had, I don't think they have it anymore. They don't have the Twister ride. They used to have it, like really old school. And they have like the E.T., they have like the little kid area.
Sure.
They have, they don't have the Jaws ride anymore. Like the water's still there, but they don't have like the ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
And they have one roller coaster. It's like the Rock and Roller Coaster or something like that. It's pretty sweet. It goes like straight up and straight down, and it's like pretty fucking huge.
Nice.
And then in it, you get to, like, right before you go, you get to pick music. And I listen to like Insane in the Membrane, and then it has like two speakers that are like right here. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah. So the California one, they had the Harry Potter, the Simpsons. There was a Jurassic Park style world.
Oh, yep, they have that.
There was a Mummy.
They have that too.
Which was just a ride, but not like a.
Did you go on that?
I did, yeah.
Oh, I fucking love that roller coaster.
It was sweet. That was awesome.
You go backwards for a second.
Yeah. There was that one, and then there was a Transformers one, which
they
was
have that
really
one
cool.
In Florida too. I think Florida's a little bigger because it's 2 parks.
Yeah.
Did they have like the Spider-Man ride? It's an older one, but
no, we didn't have the
they had Kong Skull Island, but it wasn't up yet when we went last time.
So for ours, we had like a tram tour, which basically, I mean, it's in Hollywood, so you get to see like the studios and stuff where the movies are made, and then there's literally like this big fake town, like with fake buildings, and like there's painted to like look like shops and stuff, but it's super weird because it looks just like an abandoned city, and like some of the buildings don't have backs, but like
that'd be kind of cool.
it's super cool because like literally I recognize it, like some scenes from like movies that I've seen, like Bruce Almighty. You get to see like his apartment building, and fucking like La La Land, like her little like coffee shop.
You know, name any movies I've seen?
You haven't seen Bruce Almighty?
No, I haven't.
There was also, there was another one that they mentioned, but I can't remember what it is.
Anyway.
But also, like, the tram goes through that little city, and then there's, like, an Old West setting where they shoot Westerns, and then, like, there's one of the lakes from, like, Jaws or something, and then they had, like, the shark and whatever, and then, like, they had, a suburban neighborhood setting, and all of these are, like, to scale, so, like, literally we're driving, like, this whole process took like a half an hour, and it felt like we were driving through just a weird city. They had like a suburban neighborhood where they shot a lot of like Desperate Housewives, like, so I don't know, that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I don't know, I want to go out to California just to visit and see it, but
totally.
I could never live there.
No,
and I did it.
It was rough, but like I think that if you go to California, you should do like the Disney thing before you do Universal again, since you've already had that kind of experience, and the Florida one's bigger anyway.
Yeah, I did Disney in Florida too.
Oh yeah.
But we only went to Magic Kingdom, which was really little kiddish.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it is. But I mean, you kind of gotta have the experience.
Yeah, I want to go. Like, there was other ones that like my mom and brother went to when we went on our trip to Florida, but I had to go back home because I had prior arrangements.
Sure.
So I had to leave early, but they went to a different one. They're like, "Oh, this one was so much cooler." And I'm like, "That's cool. I'm glad I missed it."
Yeah, there's like the California Adventure one, which we didn't get to go to, but it's like for older, like our age people.
Yeah, they have like the beer tasting and stuff like that.
They have like the Guardians of the Galaxy like prison breakout experience thing.
Cool.
And so I really want to go do that.
Yeah, I think now it would be more enjoyable because they have, like, the first time I went, they didn't really have as much of like the Star Wars and Marvel stuff there.
Yeah.
But now they have all that stuff there.
So yeah, when I went to Disneyland, like the little kid one in California, like it was still cool because they had things that I still cared about.
Right.
You know, like all the Star Wars stuff and even some of the rides were. I mean, they were. For
Like I went on a
kids,
Lilo and Stitch one that was kind of fun.
Yeah,
did you go on that
they're
one?
still fun. No, I didn't.
Had, like Space Mountain.
Yeah, Space Mountain, and then they had like a Buzz Lightyear ride where you like blast all the aliens. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like little kid stuff from our generation, a little kid.
Yeah.
But
so I mean, it's like super entertaining, even though it's for children. But
the only thing is, like, I waited like 45 minutes for the Winnie the Pooh ride, and I was like, "Why am I doing this?"
Yeah, no, that gets
I don't care about Winnie the Pooh that much.
That's what I do like about Universal over like the Disney stuff is like when you're waiting in line, it doesn't feel like waiting in line.
Right.
Because like there's
making an experience.
There's shit to like see and like do whilst waiting in the lines.
Yeah, like the Spider-Man ride's pretty cool because you get to go through like the Daily Bugle.
Right, exactly.
And then it's another one of those kind of like the Harry Potter where it's like
you go through Hogwarts Castle.
Yeah, but
you get to like see all the things.
And it's like a story. Like in the Daily Bugle, it's like J. Jonah Jameson is talking about like the Sinister Six and they're attacking the city. And it's like and this, and then it's kind of like it's like each ride is like a package.
Sure.
It's like. Or it's like you're part of the story. It's like, we need you to get out on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
And like go take pictures of Spider-Man, and then like you're going and you're like in the cart and it's going through the city, and Spider-Man pops up or whatever like on the screen, but like he's like there and he's like, hey, what are you doing here? Like you need to get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like he keeps catching you with like webs and stuff, so it makes it feel like you're falling through the city.
Yeah, That's all that I love that type of stuff.
Or like you get hit with like an anti-gravity shit, and like it makes it feel like they have the buildings like go past you, and it makes it feel like you're like flying in the air, even though you're just not even moving.
Oh, that shit's cool.
That shit's like so awesome that it works that way.
Yeah.
And actually makes it feel like it. It's not just like those stupid 4D ones when you're like in the mall.
Well, I mean that makes me wonder too, like how focused is Disney on, you know, their like movies right now as opposed to just their theme parks, you know? And like what movies are Universal doing as opposed to like investing in their theme parks? It just kind of makes me think.
Yeah, but that's Fox that's going out of business, or possibly whatever. I don't know which one. Anyway,
because isn't Disney like trying to buy?
I think so, but I don't think they won't. I don't think the government's allowing them to do it because it'd make them too powerful.
I would be okay with it.
But
yes, give me my.
I get I get what you mean by whereas like Disney isn't really focusing as much on the theme park, even though that's where they make a lot of their money.
Yeah, well, I mean, because like their theme parks haven't been updated in how long, you know, like.
But I think that's kind of it. It's like people want to go for this the nostalgia, and they throw in when they acquire new properties like Star Wars and Marvel, like they add it in there, but like they have to keep some of that old stuff to.
Sure, but I mean, they still could like overhaul the rides, you know, like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride or whatever. Like it was cool, but it was kind of lame because like
it is lame.
The
but
effects
people
are
would,
literally like animatronics that you can find from like the 60s.
But people would feel so like older people usually bring them there because that's where they were at when they were little, because it was like a big thing back in like the 70s and all that stuff. So it's like then it's like the adults now are like, okay, we need to bring our kids, and then they pass on that memory. So it'll probably change once like our generation starts to get a little bit older and have kids and stuff like that, because we're so numb to some of the stuff that. Anyway, we've become so numb to like the old school ways of the rides that they have there that it's like we're not entertained by it. So it's like, why would we bring our kids here? Because we have no enjoyment or nostalgia factor to it. Like, yeah, it's the characters we like, but like I would bring my kid to Universal more because I have the nostalgia of the Spider-Man ride and stuff like that. Like the Hulk roller coaster, super fun. The Harry Potter for sure, and just have it seems more fun and more interactive. Whereas Disney is like, we're Disney, come on in,
come on down.
We have all the shit that you love. pay us way too much money to go
Yeah.
look at a picture of Winnie the Pooh.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like,
Did you want It's a Small World?
No,
It's... Oh, God. I fucking hated that ride so much. The only great part about it was there was, like, you go through kind of, like, do you know, like, what It's a Small World?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you go through, like, all the countries and whatever, the nations. And I think it's when you're in, like, the Mexico area.
Yeah.
Like, there's a little kid, and he's got a chicken, and he's, like, choking it.
Oh, God.
And, like, pulling its neck.
Jesus
And I'm, like, I
Christ.
couldn't stop laughing from that point on, because I looked up, because my mom was on the ride, and I'm like, he's choking his chicken!
Oh, my God.
And I couldn't stop laughing. And I waited, like, an hour to go on that fucking ride.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, at least it made you laugh.
Oh, my God. Anyway, yeah, it did make me laugh, but it was not worth the wait.
No, okay, well, I mean, I guess that's the difference between the theme parks, at least, is where, like, I was just talking about, I was tempted to spend $100 on a Harry Potter wand at fucking Universal, right. But I didn't feel inclined to spend much money at Disney.
Right. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I was the same way. I mean, I bought a wand, so.
Exactly.
Mine was only like 60. But.
Yeah, because you got one of the replica ones. It didn't choose you, Blake. It didn't choose you.
It'll work just fine for me.
I'm sure it will.
It's not the size of the wand, it's the
swish and flick that matters.
We made a penis joke.
And you ruined it. All right, closing thoughts. What are we thinking about? Oh, Star Wars. Do you think that they're gonna go too far with releasing all of these movies?
What do you mean too far?
Like Fast and Furious.
No, you can go Star Wars for life, and I'll still probably like them.
Think so?
Whereas Fast and Furious is car porn.
I don't know. That's not my problem with Fast and Furious, but whatever.
Well, Fast and Furious doesn't have like the storyline that a Star Wars does.
Yeah. Not anymore.
They keep outdoing themselves.
Well, I mean, they eventually they're gonna have to like go into space or something because like
cars in space.
Yeah, fucking like there's only so much.
And then it will be Star Wars.
Then it'll be Star Wars. They already fucking got the government and like armies involved in like tanks and submarines and fucking planes and like. It's done. I'm so mad at the Fast and Furious universe now.
I think the only ones I've ever seen is like Tokyo Drift and 6.
Dude, the first like 5 were great, and then after that they just slowly started declining.
I don't like Vin Diesel.
You don't like Vin Diesel? I think he's alright. He's not my favorite. I like Paul Walker better. I should say. R.I.P.
The late great
Paul Walker.
But yes, I don't think that they will outdo Star Wars, as long as they keep.
Well, that wasn't my question though.
What did you ask again?
Do you think Star Wars will ever be played out like that? Oh, obviously Star Wars is better than Fast and Furious, but like.
Yes, it'll get played out, but it's gonna take a while.
Okay, but
I think it's gonna be after our generation who doesn't like them.
Okay.
What do you feel?
I feel.
And by our generation, I mean like people who are in the demographic of
Demogorgon.
Like 25 to 35. I feel like that 10-year gap or whatever.
I feel like
that 10-year range once they move past because older people like them, but they probably want their like original Star Wars that they saw in the 70s.
Yeah.
Whereas like the 25 to 35, like we're like, oh my god, we love the old ones. Let's see the prequels. Oh my god, the prequels suck. Oh my god. And then they make new ones like, oh, these new ones are pretty awesome. And so
I love the prequels. Anyway.
I don't hate them, but they did it wrong. Anyway. We can bring that up at another time.
That'll be our next week's podcast.
Tune in next time. More Star Wars.
Star Wars or Star
Wars.
But
I think it'll come to a point where the teenagers, because as I said, they kind of grow numb to it. The same thing, where they grow numb to it and are always on to like the next new thing that Star Wars will become old.
Star Wars. Star Wars, best bargains. Fucking with Benedict Cumberbatch, I came to bargain.
Credits.
I don't know. I think they need to cool their jets a little bit because, like, they're releasing.
I think they're blowing their load really quick.
They're releasing a trilogy.
Sorry. Yeah.
They're gonna release the Han Solo solo movie, which could turn into multiple movies. They've already announced another trilogy. I think they need to give it time for the nostalgia to set in a little bit.
That's not how Disney works.
I know it's not how Disney works, but
they're already planning like phase 6 of the Marvel universe.
If they want to stay relevant, then I feel like they just need to slow the fuck down a second, so they can last 100 years instead of the next 20 years or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see what happens over time, but I think it's going to be one of those franchises that live on forever. I mean, comics have been around since the 40s, 30s, and 20s and 40s. Like superhero comic books have been around since the 30s.
All right, so wrapped up Star Wars, wrapped up.
Minnesota Vikings, #1 seed, wrapped up.
Wrapped up, killing it. And then fucking Universal versus Disney. Go to Universal, but bring your kids to Disney once you have kids.
But when they're little, not when they're like 13.
When they're little.
8,
Otherwise,
9.
after that, bring them to
10.
Universal because it's more worth it and more fun. All right.
Unless they don't like rides.
That's true.
Or get motion sickness. Anyway.
All right.
There's lots of what ifs in all this, but
the final words.
The final verdict. We're going to end the podcast.
Fucking motion sickness.
Anyway, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, tune in next week.
How could they not have made it this far?
I mean,
we're great. Blake.
We're pretty awesome.
All right.
Who doesn't want to hear my voice?
Tune in next week for Unemployed Tomorrow. I'm Chris.
I'm Blake.
See you next week.